Here we have an equation involving algebraic fractions. The first step, the first thing I'm going to do to solve this equation is to add the two fractions together. So I've got 2 over x plus 1 plus 2 over x minus 2. To add fractions, we need to make the denominators the same. So to make the denominators the same, I'm going to multiply top and bottom of 2 over x plus 1 by x minus 2. And I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of 2 over x minus 2 by x plus 1. So I'm going to have 2 times x minus 2 over x plus 1 times x minus 2. And I'm going to have 2 times x plus 1 over the same denominator, x plus 1 times x minus 2. So I've multiplied top and bottom of my left fraction by x minus 2 and top and bottom of my right fraction by x plus 1. So I've got two fractions with the same denominator, and that means I can add them together. So I can write this as one fraction over x plus 1 times x minus 2. And I could expand it in one go, but I'm going to leave it unexpanded for now. And I will expand it in a minute. So now I've added the fractions together. Now I'm going to get rid of the fraction entirely. So I'm going to multiply both sides by x plus 1 times x minus 2. Multiply both sides by the denominator. So that's going to leave me with 2 times x minus 2 plus 2 times x plus 1 on the left side. And 1 times x plus 1 times x minus 2 is just x plus 1 times x minus 2. So now I've got rid of the fraction. Now I'm going to expand all of these brackets. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 negative 2s are negative 4. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 1s are 2. And that's the left side done. Now for the right side, x times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. 1x is x. And 1 negative 2 is negative 2. Collecting like terms. So on the left, I've got 2x plus 2x, which is 4x. And I've got negative 4 plus 2, which is negative 2. On the right, I've got x squared. I've got negative 2x plus an x, so negative x. And I've got a minus 2. So now I've simplified both sides. I'm solving a quadratic. It's an x squared equation. So I want to make it equal to 0. So if I take 4x away from both sides, I'll have negative 2 equals x squared minus 5x minus 2. And then plus 2 to both sides, which is going to give me x squared minus 5x. X squared minus 5x is equal to 0. So I'm going to solve this by factorizing, and that would be one bracket. X squared and 5x have both got x in them, so I can take x outside. Then x times x is x squared, and x times negative 5 is negative 5x. So what can x be? So either x is equal to 0, or x minus 5 is equal to 0, which makes x 5 or 0. Okay, one for you to try. So if you want to give this a go, pause the video and give it a go. So I'm going to follow the same steps. I'm going to add the fractions first. So I'm going to multiply 4 over x plus 8, multiply the top and bottom by x plus 5. So I have 4 times x plus 5 over x plus 8 times x plus 5. And I'm going to multiply top and bottom of 1 over x plus 5 by x plus 8. So I have 1x plus 8 over x plus 8 times x plus 5. So I've got the same denominator for both fractions. Now I can add them. You can add fractions with the same denominator. So it's going to be all over x plus 8 times x plus 5. And the top, I'm not going to expand just yet. You could expand it now, but I'm going to expand in one go. So now I'm going to get rid of the fraction by multiplying both sides by the denominator, multiplying both sides by x plus 8 times x plus 5. So 4 times x plus 5 plus 1x plus 8 is equal to 1 times x plus 8 times x plus 5. So expanding the brackets, 4 times x is 4x, 4 5s are 20, 1x is x, and 1 8 is 8. X times x is x squared, x times 5 is 5x, 8 times x is 8x, and 8 5s are 40. And collecting like terms, 4x plus 1x is 5x, 20 plus 8 is 28, and for the right side, x squared, 5x plus 8x is 13x, and I've got a plus 40 as well. So again, I'm solving a quadratic. I'm going to make it equal to 0. So take 5x away from both sides. So 28 is equal to x squared plus 8x plus 40. And then take 28 away from both sides. So I've got x squared plus 8x plus 12 is equal to 0. I'm going to solve it by factorizing. So what multiplies to make 12 and adds to make 8? That's 6 and 2. So I've got x plus 6 and x plus 2, which means x is equal. What makes the first bracket 0? X would be negative 6. And what makes the second bracket 0? Negative 2. So here's another example. This time we have a take away sign. We have one fraction subtracted from another fraction. So we're going to follow the same steps. We're going to take away the fractions first. And to do that, we need to make the denominators the same. So we'll multiply top and bottom of 10 over x minus 5 by x minus 3. And the top and bottom of 8 over x minus 3 we'll multiply by x minus 5. So we'll make the denominators the same first. So we have 10 times x minus 3 over x minus 5 times x minus 3. And it's take away 8 times x minus 5 over x minus 5 times x minus 3 is equal to 3. Now we've got the same denominators, we can add the fractions or take them away. So it's going to be just one fraction over x minus 5 times x minus 3. And I'm going to leave the top for now. I'm not going to expand it. So 10 times x minus 3 minus 8 times x minus 5. And that's equal to 3. So now I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator. So it's going to be 3 times x minus 5 times x minus 3. So I'm not going to expand it just yet. I'm just going to write it out. So it's going to be 3 times x minus 5 times x minus 3. So now I'm going to expand all of the brackets. 10 times x is 10x. 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. And negative 8 times negative 5 is a positive 40. I'm going to leave the 3 for now and then expand the two brackets. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. So let's collect like terms. 10x take away 8x is 2x. And negative 30 plus 40 is 10. And we've got 3 times x squared. We've got negative 3x, take away 5x, which is negative 8x plus 15. So let's expand again to get rid of our 3. So multiply it all by 3. So we've got 2x plus 10 equals 3x squared minus 24x plus 45. So I've multiplied each term in the bracket by 3. Now I'm going to make it equal to 0 because that's how we solve quadratics. So take 2x away from both sides. So 10 is equal to 3x squared minus 26x plus 45. And then take 10 away from both sides to make it equal to 0. So 3x squared minus 26x plus 35. So we've got a quadratic. We've got 3x squared. So to check if we can factorize, we'll do a times c. So 3 35s, a times c is 105. So does anything multiply to make 105 and add to make a 26 or a negative 26? So let's list the factors of 105. 105, it's not in the 2 times table. We know it's 3 35s. It can't be in the 4 times table. And it's 5 21s. And that will give us a negative 26. So let's set it up. So when we expanded the bracket, we want to get 5 and 21. But because we're multiplying a term by 3, if we divide it by 3, that will cancel out. So we want negative 5 and negative 21. And this is 21 over 3, which we can change into 7. So if we expanded this, we get 3x squared minus 21x minus 5x, which will give us our minus 26x plus 35. So we know we've factorized it correctly. Now we just need to solve it. So what can x be? What makes the first bracket 0? So if we had 3x minus 5 equals 0, plus 5 to both sides, and then divide by 3, x is 5 thirds. Or what makes the second bracket 0? That's 7. So x can be 5 thirds or 7. And one for you to try. So pause the video and give this a go. So again, we're going to add the fractions or take them away first. So we're going to make the denominators the same. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom of my first fraction by x plus 6. And then top and bottom of my second fraction by x plus 5. So now my denominators are the same. I can have one fraction, so it's going to be over x plus 5 times x plus 6. And on top, I've got 9 times x plus 6 minus 8 times x plus 5. And it's equal to 1. I can get rid of the fraction now by multiplying both sides by the denominator. So that will give me 9 times x plus 6 minus 8 times x plus 5 equals 1 times x plus 5 times x plus 6. So now I'm going to expand all of the brackets. 9 times x is 9x. 9 sixes are 54. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. And negative 8 times a positive 5 is negative 40. X times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times 6 is 30. Collecting the like terms. On the left side, I've got 9x take away 8x, which is just 1x, just x. And 54 take away 40 is 14. And on the right, I've got x squared. I've got 6x plus 5x, which is 11x plus 30. So I want to make this equal to 0. So I'm going to take away x from both sides. So I've got x squared, 14 equals x squared plus 10x plus 30. And then take 14 away from both sides, which gives me x squared plus 10x plus 16 is equal to 0. I can factorize this. So x in both brackets. What multiplies to make 16 and adds to make 10? It's 8 and 2. So I've got x plus 2 and x plus 8. So what makes the first bracket 0? X is negative 2. And what makes the second bracket 0? Negative 8. Here's a different question. So we've got an equation expressed as a ratio. So we're told two ratios are equal. And if two ratios are equal, so say 1 to 2, and that's equal to 2 to 4, or 3 to 6, or 4 to 8. So if two ratios are equal, you can actually express them as fractions. So I can write x minus 1 over 2x minus 6 is equal to 3x minus 3 over x plus 2. In the same way that 1 over 2 is the same as 2 over 4, or 3 over 6, or 4 over 8. And now I've got two fractions equal to each other. I want to get rid of the fractions. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2x minus 6 and multiply both sides by x plus 2. I'll do it in two steps. So multiply both sides by 2x minus 6, which will give me 3x minus 3 times 2x minus 6 over x plus 2. And then multiply both sides by x plus 2. So I'm going to have x minus 1 times x plus 2. And that's going to be equal to 3x minus 3 times 2x minus 6. Now I need to expand all of these brackets. So x times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Negative 1 times x is just minus x. And negative 1 times a positive 2 is a negative 2. 3x times 2x on the other side, that's 6x squared. 3x times negative 6, negative 18x. Negative 3 times 2x, negative 6x. And negative 3 times negative 6, is positive 18. So let's collect like terms. On the left, I've got x squared. 2x take away 1x is just 1x minus 2. And on the right, I've got 6x squared minus 18x minus 6x minus 24x plus 18. So I want to make this equal to 0 to solve it. I'm going to take away the smallest x squared first, which is a 1x squared. So take 1x squared away from both sides. Then I'm going to take x away from both sides. Then I'm going to add 2 to both sides to make it equal to 0. So I've got a quadratic, and you can notice that each of these terms are in the 5 times table. So I can divide by 5. I can divide every term in the equation by 5, which will make it a lot easier. It'll be x squared minus 5x plus 4. Then I can factorize this. So x in both brackets. What multiplies to make 4 and adds to make a negative 5? A negative 1 and negative 4. So x will be 1 or 4. And one of these for you to try. So give this a go. So I'm going to rewrite this as a fraction. I'm going to have 2x plus 4 over x plus 2 equals x plus 9 over x plus 3. I'm going to multiply to get rid of the fractions. So multiply both sides by x plus 2 and multiply both sides by x plus 3. So I'm going to have 2x plus 4 times x plus 3 equals x plus 9 times x plus 2. Now I'm going to expand. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. 4 times x is 4x. And 4 3s are 12. And then the other brackets, x times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. 9 times x is 9x. And 9 2s are 18. So collecting like terms, we have on the left side 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. And on the right side x squared plus 11x plus 18. So we want to solve this, we want to make it equal to 0. So I'm going to get rid of the smallest x squared first, which is 1x squared. So take 1x squared away from both sides, which gives me x squared plus 10x plus 12 equals 11x plus 18. I want to take 11x away from both sides. So x squared minus x plus 12 equals 18. And then take 18 away from both sides. So x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. So now it's equal to 0. I can solve it. And again, this will factorize. So what multiplies to make a negative 6 and adds to make a negative 1, it will be 3 and 2 and plus 2 minus 3. So what's x? X can be negative 2 or x can be 3. Okay, to finish up 2 questions. So pause the video, give these a go, and press play when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so we're going to add the fractions. To do that, we're going to make the denominators the same. So multiply top and bottom of 5 over x minus 1 by x plus 1. And multiply top and bottom of 2 over x plus 1 by x minus 1. So now we've got the same denominators. we can make it into one fraction. So I'm not going to expand the brackets just yet. It wouldn't be wrong if I did. I'm just going to do it all in one line. Now I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator to get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to have 5 times x plus 1 plus 2 times x minus 1 is equal to 3 times x plus 1 times x minus 1. So now I'm going to expand all of the brackets. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And I'm going to leave the 3 and expand the two brackets first. So x times x is x squared. You might recognize this as a difference of two squares. So I'm going to go straight to the simplified version of x squared minus 1. So the two middle numbers will cancel out. You have minus x plus x. That will cancel out. So it's just x squared minus 1. And on the left side, I've got 5x plus 2x, which is 7x. And 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. And 3 negative 1s are negative 3. So I want to make it equal to 0 to solve it. So take 7x away from both sides. So 3 equals 3x squared minus 7x minus 3. I then take 3 away from both sides. So 3x squared minus 7x minus 6 is equal to 0. To check if it factorizes, we can do a times c. So 3 6s are 18. What multiplies to make 18, or negative 18, and adds to give a negative 7? That's 9 and 2. So it does factorize. So when we expand the bracket, we want to get 9x and 2x. But because we're multiplying a term by 3, we're going to divide one of these numbers by 3. So it's going to be plus 2 and minus 9. But 9 over 3 simplifies to just 3. So if I expanded this, I'd get negative 9x plus 2x, which gives me my negative 7. And so that is what I wanted. So what is x? What can x be? So what makes the first bracket 0? That's negative 2/3. And what makes the second bracket 0? 3. And finally, question 2. So again, this is a takeaway, but we're following the same initial steps. We want to make the denominators the same. So we'll multiply top and bottom of 10 over x minus 3 by x minus 2. So 10 times x minus 2 over x minus 3 times x minus 2. And multiply top and bottom of 3 over x minus 2 by x minus 3. So 3 times x minus 3 over x minus 3 times x minus 2, and that's equal to 4. So we've got the same denominator. So now we can take the fractions away. We can make it into one fraction. So the denominator is x minus 3 times x minus 2. And on top, we've got 10 times x minus 2 minus 3 times x minus 3. And it's equal to 4. I'm going to get rid of the fraction by multiplying both sides by the denominator. So the left side, or the numerator of the left side, is going to stay the same. And it's going to be equal to 4 times x minus 3 times x minus 2. Now expand all of the brackets. So 10x minus 20 minus 3x plus 9 equals 4 times x squared minus 2x minus 3x plus 6. Collecting like terms gives us 7x minus 11 equals 4 times x squared minus 5x plus 6. And multiplying by 4 on the right side gives us 4x squared minus 20x plus 24. So let's make it equal to 0. So take 7x away from both sides. Negative 11 is 4x squared minus 27x plus 24. And plus 11 to both sides. So 0 is 4x squared minus 27x plus 35. So we're going to factorize. We do a times c. 4 35s are 140. What multiplies to make 140 and adds to give us a negative 27? So 140, 2 70s. It's not in the 3 times table. 4 35s. 5 times 28. It's not in the 6s, it is in the 7s. 7 times 20, and that's what we want. So when we expand the brackets, we want 7x and 20x. So we're going to have 4x in one bracket, x in the other. 4x times x makes 4x squared. And because we're multiplying by 4, we're going to divide by 4 to cancel that out. And we want negative 7 and negative 20. And I can simplify that. So we've got 4x minus 7 and x minus 5. So if we expanded this, we would get, for the middle numbers, negative 20x and negative 7x, which makes negative 27. So what can x be? So x is 7 over 4 or 5.